think that I saw it, I want to say in like 2010 maybe, in like a tour. And it was incredible, and like I loved every second of it. It was so well done. I would really like to see the original. I think that would be really cool. What about you?
90s revival of Cabaret with Alan Cumming and Natasha Richardson.
I was gonna say, I bet it's Cabaret.
Love Cabaret. But we're not talking about Cabaret today.
But you can go back and listen to that episode.
Oh yeah, we did talk about
we
Cabaret.
did talk about
the
Cabaret.
Movie. Oh, what a movie.
So,
let's just talk about that. Can we just talk about Cabaret?
No, we already did an episode on that.
But it's so good.
We have to do an episode on this now.
Okay, I guess. Welcome everyone to an episode on Wicked from us. I love this. You should too. My name is Indy, the MC Randhawa, and with me is the wicked Samantha Randhawa of the West.
Oh, wow.
That's you.
Nice.
And yeah, we're talking all about the first Wicked movie. Because
Yes.
there's a new one coming out maybe now?
The 19th, 20th, somewhere around there. So in like a week and a half, we will have
Let's say now.
part 2 of Wicked, which I'm very excited
We
about.
will not.
We will
The
not.
world will.
I will, personally.
So on this little podcast, we take turns bringing things the other person doesn't know about or maybe like. And Sam, this was your big pick. Why'd
Yes.
you pick it?
I picked it because I love it. And I think it's...
Well, that makes sense because the title
it's
of the
because
show.
of the name. And I think that you will find some things that you like in this.
So you're not confident I'll love it.
I really, really hope you love it. I don't think you will.
After the first watch, because we kind of watched it twice. We watched it once, very straightforward.
No talking.
And we rewatched it because it's long, and we watched the first time a week ago, and I've forgotten a little bit. After the first watch, you looked scared. Not of the movie, but of my reaction.
Terrified of your reaction.
What?
I think I always get terrified when I bring something that I like really, really, really love.
But that's kind of the show, because there's some movies I loved, and you're like, I don't know. And then I try to convince you over the next hour of why it's great. And oftentimes at the end, you're like, all right, I get it. I still don't love it, though. But sometimes you do. Sometimes I'm able to convince you.
Sometimes. So we'll see. I'll do my best.
Well, you don't even know if I love it or not.
No. So, Indy.
Yes.
Do you love it?
Love it? No.
Okay.
I might give a Samantha standard answer of like, I'm gonna like it.
Okay.
It's tricky. So the first watch, for much of the movie, I really disliked it. I feel like the ending is the strongest part. So then you go off on that. So then for the last week, it's like, yeah, I like that movie. Then we turned it on to like kind of get it fresh in our minds again, just today, this morning. And the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh my God, I think I hate it. I don't think I don't just dislike it. I think I hate it. And then we started watching in the middle, like, okay, it's fine. And then by the end, I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of good. So I think this movie, each 30-minute block is better than the previous one.
Right.
Does that make it good? I don't know.
So I will say that they did spend a lot more time world building than I thought that they would. So the runtime of this movie is
Too long.
2 hours and 40 minutes. The entire Wicked musical is 2 hours and 45 minutes with an intermission. So I think we could have made it a little bit shorter.
We definitely could have.
And I think that they did a little bit too much world building at the beginning, which does make it drag a little bit.
There was a 30-minute sequence of like, welcome to this university. And here's just groups of people gasping.
Yeah.
I was, I don't know, infuriated seems like too strong of a word, but I was agitated by that. In my mind, I kept going, cut, 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 because single shots would last 10 seconds longer than they would in any other movie. And I think all of my complaints about this movie, you'll be able to say like, oh yeah, we'll get there in the second movie. I feel like there's going to be a lot of that. And I think my biggest complaint is, why do we need a 3-hour movie that's just setting up another movie? And I feel like that's what that is, because it seems like if we're looking at it in a 3-act structure, I guess this is more of a 5-act structure, the musical, but let's pretend it's just a 3, because that's what we talk about most in movies.
Yeah.
It seems like the first hour and a half of this movie would be just act one of the musical, and an hour and a half of introduction of here's who these two characters are. I don't need an hour and a half of introducing the two characters when they are already from a movie that I know.
Right.
It was so much. And it wasn't even going back into their childhoods that I was like, oh, that's too much. It was them just standing around the university and being like, I don't like you because of the color of your skin. All right, I'm different. And it was that for a lot of it.
They did drag that out a lot. So in the musical, and I feel like I'm going to just reference the musical a lot here. In the musical, there's the opening song with the townspeople in Glinda. And then you go directly into Dear Old Shiz. And then you have like a few short scenes. And then you go into Wizard and I. So it's a lot faster, and I feel like they could have cut a large portion of what they did in the first part of the movie.
Absolutely.
I don't think we need that much world building, like you said.
But that's not world building.
No.
Was it? It was people just kind of standing around and having groups react to different people. We like this person. She's pretty. We don't like this person. Her skin's different. And I feel like you could get that in a minute or two. It's not that it's such a complex take on it. They're not going into the reasons of why we hate people with different skin colors. It's just, she's different, we don't like her.
Right.
We spend a lot of time on it.
True.
And I get that this is targeted at is it a kid's movie? It seems like a kid's movie.
It's like a family movie.
Sure.
They worked really hard to keep it with a PG rating.
So I get that we're trying to play to that everyone can understand it, but I think everyone's got it after you mention it a few times. Like, we get it. We like the pretty one. We don't like the green one.
Right.
And let's continue
move on. Yeah. Okay. So you didn't like the beginning of the movie?
Oh God, no. Well, so my biggest complaint, and I know if you're listening now, it's going to seem like I hate this movie, but I hate the beginning.
Yes.
And that's where we are.
Fair.
If they cut the high school play reactions, so much of this movie is a large group of people gasping or going, oh, yes, we love that. Oh, yeah. And in high school productions, it's always kind of fun to watch the people in the background because they think like, oh, yeah, this is my big moment.
Right. Everyone's watching
and
me.
They're really going for it, and they're making it very big. And that's what everyone does here. And I get that it is from a musical and everything's going to be big and like stage acting. But it's so much of crowds applauding. If you cut crowd applause from this movie, I think you could get it down to 90 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
And despite it being, 160 minutes?
Yeah.
It still has a real high GPM.
What's GPM?
Gasps per minute.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's so much gasping in this movie. Anytime Elphaba does anything, group gasps. And we always had to cut to it. And the group, this constant chorus everywhere we go was maybe my single least favorite part of the movie.
Okay.
Why is that necessary?
I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of this movie that is, well, on stage, we would do this, so let's do that.
Right.
And maybe having a big group of dancers on stage looks cool, right? Like if you have everyone synchronized, that looks fantastic, it looks impressive in these grand sets. Here, they're like, well, it's a movie, we have multiple takes, let's cram more people in. And it makes group dance numbers a discombobulated blur to me. I can't actually notice the dancers. There's so many dancers that I don't notice dancers.
Yeah. Yeah, and Wicked the musical is a large ensemble musical.
Like 500-600 people?
No, there's not 500-600 people. Yeah, I don't know exactly how many there are, but it is like, I feel like they did carry that over from the musical of like, we have to have as many people in every scene as possible.
Yeah, I don't understand why. And I feel like in stage language, in a set that is the same size all of the time, you want to fill it. Here, you can change what that looks like.
Yeah.
You can zoom in. You can crop things out. And they don't live in the wide shot or anything to show all of these 100 people in the background. they'll focus on someone, but then there just happens to be 100 people in the background that I can't really notice.
Right.
This second watch through, I tried to pay attention to that because I feel like any complaints that I have about this movie might just be things that I missed because you're constantly being bombarded.
It is like a lot coming at you.
So much. It's getting back into the complaints that we both have of modern action movies.
It's cut.
Well, it's the cuts, and there are so many things that you're not sure where to focus. So in a second watch through, I tried to focus on these dancers because in my mind on the first watch, there's our main people, and then there's the people in the background aren't doing anything. And that's not true.
That's not true.
I
They're
watched
doing
now
the most.
and was looking at them, and it's like, oh, they are dancing, I guess. Do I just not like dance movies? I love a lot of musicals and a lot of dance movies, but I didn't care for any of the background dancing in this, outside of maybe that one... what's the Prince's song of I'm not going to read books?
Oh, Dancing Through Life?
Dancing Through
That's
Life.
a good one.
When they have like those circles and stuff,
The
they're doing
parkour
something with
people
it.
are very cool.
That was interesting, and I could see them.
Yeah.
In other numbers, was it just me missing it, or are they just kind of not fading into the background, but the background is so busy that I can't notice any dancing?
I think they are fading into the background a little bit. And I do think that that's supposed to happen to a certain degree because you are supposed to be focused on Elphaba and Glinda.
But I feel like they also got lost in
True.
in the mess. It was, I feel this movie is often described as like what's the positive word on your senses? A spectacle, like an indulgence of your senses. This felt like an assault on my visual senses.
Okay.
It was so crowded and busy that it detracted from any good work the dancers were doing. I was expecting maybe some punch-ins to see what the dancers were doing,
right?
But they're very few and far between. And the only time it really came through to me was in the, whatever you call that circular library clockwork thing.
Yeah.
They allowed the dancers to shine there, but not often.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. That's definitely a note.
That is definitely a note.
I just, while we're talking about Dancing Through Life, that whole sequence with the parkour people doing the thing on the rotating bookshelf is just like the coolest thing. And they brought like professionals in who are used to doing that kind of thing.
Early on, one of my notes is also Ariana Grande needs subtitles when she sings.
So here's a tidbit of information. So in No One Mourns the Wicked, which is what you're talking about, when she comes down in the bubble and she's singing super high, when she sings super high, it's because she's being dishonest. So this is her best friend who's just died. She's mourning, but she has to put on the good Glinda for like the Glinda the Good persona in order to like celebrate with the Munchkins. And so she comes down, and anytime she's singing super high, she's not being honest.
Oh, interesting.
And towards the end of the movie, when you hear them singing Defying Gravity, they are both singing in a much lower register. And then when Elphaba starts to become herself, and in the I'm trying not to spoil the second movie, but in the second part, she has some songs where she does take the higher register. So it's like they switch when they start becoming a little bit more honest and more themselves.
Interesting. I guess maybe we'll get there, but I wanted to talk about, is she good? I think a lot of the times in many movies you love, you hate when I ask, is this satire? And I'm not going to say that about this one. But for instance, in your first favorite movie we ever talked about, Bring It On, I said, oh, it's cool that like it's proven that the people who we would think are the heroes are the villains. And you were like, no, they're not. They're the heroes. The black people are the villains. The white people are the heroes. And I said, I think you're incorrect. And I think maybe after time you've come around to my thinking on that. In this one, are we meant to dislike and maybe even hate almost everyone in this movie?
I think that maybe not hate, but like Glinda is a people pleaser. She's going to do whatever she can to be the most popular person and be the center of attention. And that's not always a good trait.
Definitely. And I think in the first third of it, she is intentionally very annoying.
Yes.
And I
she's
get that that's intentional.
the biggest, loudest, most splashiest person at shit.
Yeah, and I hated her, and I was like, okay, well, that's, at that point, it's like, the movie wants me to dislike her.
I mean, she's the only one wearing a pink uniform.
We're meant to sympathize and empathize with Elphaba.
Yes.
And I think because they don't want a bring it on situation, they don't want people going, oh, well, she's the wicked one and she's a different color. And my life has taught me I hate people of different colors. So I'm going to make sure I dislike her. So they're going out of their way to say, no, she's the good one. This one is the bad one.
Yeah.
And I got that. But then when she has her turn, do we want to get into that stuff now?
Sure, if you
We
want.
just want to jump right ahead?
Let's jump right
We
ahead.
can come back
Yes, we'll come back.
later. Well, maybe let's go like this before we even get into what we're supposed to believe. The turn itself, I didn't
Whose
believe
turn?
or understand. Glinda's.
Glinda's turn. Okay.
Because she's a bully, she dislikes her, and then Elphaba does something good for her and gets her into the class or the tutoring or whatever. And then she just turns like, oh, okay, I'm going to help you out now because you did something good for me.
Yeah.
And she does that dance with her.
Yeah.
So first of all, is this one of those things I don't understand with Elphaba's dance? Because I didn't get what that was about.
That is additional to the movie.
Additional to the movie?
Like, that is added to the movie that is not in the Broadway show.
Gotcha.
There is an Ozdas ballroom scene. They do have a little moment in which Glinda comes to Elphaba's rescue, and they may dance for like a couple seconds, but I think they just run off stage together back home.
So first, she walks in and everyone stops, even though
Yes.
we've known her. She's been going to the school for a while.
Yeah.
So it's because of the hat?
It's because of the hat.
Everyone notices the hat of someone walking in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that they're shocked that she even showed up.
Okay.
I think it's like, why is she here?
It is like that
kind of
because they
reaction.
gasp so
They
many
do.
times.
Sorry, I put the gasp in just for you because I know you love it.
But then, again, they keep cutting to the crowd and they do this chuckle.
Yeah.
But nobody has anything more to do than that. So you get that same chuckle no less than 7 times.
Yeah.
They keep cutting to someone. She'll say one line. Then we cut to the crowd. Then she says a line. And then we cut to it. And then we just keep doing that over and over
Yeah,
again.
there was some reusing of sounds that wasn't great.
Well, there's that one gasp, which it must have a name like the Wilhelm scream, because there's a single gasp that's used in this movie and in many other things. And
Oh, and it's like a free sound?
I pointed out to you, I was like, oh, that's that gasp.
Yeah.
And it's used in this one too. That
Oh.
probably has a name someone knows about. This scene is very savable. You need to edit it down. You can't keep going to a crowd of people for reactions if it's the same reaction multiple times. And also, go to the people. Go to a person and do a close-up. So much crowd reacting.
When I watch this movie, I honestly don't notice the crowd reactions. I was very wrapped up, and maybe it's because I know the score, and a large part of the music, like the score in this scene, is from songs from part 2. So you're getting a flash forward of like the feels and emotions of what happens in. I really liked this dance sequence. I thought it was a little too long. There is a lot of gasping.
So then the dance, then what? Am I just missing it, or just Elphaba did a weird dance and that's it? I shouldn't
Elphaba
look
did a weird
anymore.
dance. Glinda came in and did the dance with her to show that she was like,
I'm supporting her.
I'm supporting her.
Sure.
Everyone's like, well, if Glinda's doing it, I'm going to do it.
Because it was such a bizarre thing to do, and it's silent and it's very, very uncomfortably long.
It is, yeah.
That I assumed it must mean something that I just don't understand.
Not really. It was mostly that, yeah, she's doing the uncomfortable thing, and it's supposed to make you feel as uncomfortable as she does in that moment.
I felt very uncomfortable.
And then Glinda comes in and like does the dance with her, and it's like an act of female friendship.
So then that gets me to my next thing. They're friends now?
Yes.
And it's just like, I'm not missing something. It is just oh, you did something good to me. Now we're friends.
Yes.
Oh.
I do feel like Elphaba is still on the fence about it. She's like, why are you being so nice to me? During
Yes.
Popular, she's very much like, okay. Like,
Understood.
If,
I
if
would
I
agree
have
with that.
to. Like, and then she's like, okay, I'm going to give it like a go. Sure, we'll try it your way. Now that...
I thought Glinda never really likes her. Like when we leave this movie, I don't think she really likes her.
Oh, see, I think that they build a friendship over the like course of the movie.
I didn't. I always felt like Glinda is what can you do for me? Mm-hmm. And now she sees her as someone useful. Like, oh, you did something for me. You have pull. I'll keep you around. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like she ever really supports her going forward. And when we're getting to the big ends, when Elphaba's like, oh, this is what's happening. Help me out. Glinda's like, no, that's not what's happening. You don't get it. Let's listen to someone else who's more powerful than you. I want to cozy up to them more than I want to cozy up to you.
So I don't think
feel
she's
like she abandons her.
cozying up to her. I think she is finally being faced with needing to actually make a choice.
And I don't think she chooses Elphaba.
I think that she can't choose Elphaba and live on the lam forever, or like whatever ends up happening fighting the wizard. I think that she's never had to be in a friction point like choice like that, and I think that she chooses the easier path, which is like, it's a character flaw.
I think you're saying the same thing as me.
Yeah,
she's not a real friend.
She's
think not going to help her out
friend.
If it's hard. Well, she's not a friend who will put herself through hardships for her friend.
I think Glinda's scared.
I think she's a bad friend. Sure, it can be out of fear, but she will choose herself over her friend.
I think she's choosing fear.
Fear that things would be hard for her.
Fear of the unknown.
Okay.
And I don't think that she's like, oh, fuck Elphaba in this moment. I think she's like, I'm scared and I'm going to go with what's known.
I think that Glinda is shallow and opportunistic, and that's definitely set up in the first half. And then when she sees there is a benefit to being nice to Elphaba, she takes advantage of that. But when Elphaba is more work than benefit for her, she will abandon her. And I don't feel like any of the actions that Glinda does throughout can be called true friendship, or when they do that, like, my friend, my best friend. And I was like, well, she's not your best friend. You're just saying that to... You bullied her for the first half of the movie, and then she did one nice thing for you. Well, she's been nice the whole time. She's been nice-ish.
Right.
But she does one valuable thing for you, and then it's just flip the switch. There isn't anything where she gets to know Elphaba and goes, oh, now I like you because I understand you. It's just, you did something nice for me. All right, I get it now. I see your value, not as a human, but as a commodity for me. And that's why I ask, like, are we meant to dislike this character? Because if it is a big reversal of Wizard of Oz, right? We're making the good witch the bad witch and vice versa.
Yeah.
So in that case, I was like, okay, I see what the movie's doing here. She's terrible and she's using her and will sell her out if it's convenient for her, or abandon her if it's inconvenient to keep that friendship, and we are meant to dislike her. Then the movie makes more sense to me than if this was like you had originally pitched it, like, oh, this is a movie about female friendship, and it's like, oh, well, then that's a grim interpretation, because it's, I will bully you, I will mock your appearance specifically, I will be not so veiled racist towards you throughout. If I can take from what you're doing, if I can steal something of yours, if I can, like, if we're going along those same parallels, if I can appropriate what you do in your culture, I will take that, and then I will discard you when it's not needed. And if that's what the movie's saying, then that's more interesting to me than if it's saying, this is female friendship, where you bully someone, but then use them when you can. Because that's a grim message if that's the friendship. So,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't have anything to say to that. You can take out what you think. I think that they are still friends, and maybe that is because I know what happens in the second half. I
think a lot of this movie, when I'm going to complain about something, it's going to be like, well, in the second movie, what will happen? I think it should be one movie, because this didn't need to be that long.
True. Very true. But I don't think that they still could have made it all into one movie.
Not even a 3-hour movie? If it's a 3-hour musical, I feel like it can be a 3-hour movie.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I think that they just used a lot more time of, like, extending the Wizamania scene and, like...
What's Wizamania?
Oh, that's when we're learning about Oz. It's called Wizamania.
Oh, the play? Oh, okay.
It's called Wizamania because it's, like, the story of the Wizard of Oz.
Sure.
And I enjoyed the extension of that, which we can talk about later. But I still don't think that they could have made this into one movie if we're building, like if we're expanding on the world of this musical.
Do we need to expand on the world of the musical?
I think that's why you make a movie.
Oh, I thought you make it so everyone can watch it.
Oh, that too.
And take advantage of the language of film, which I also think they did not in any way. There's no advantage to this being a movie than a play outside of Flight. I don't think this being a movie added anything because they're still shooting it very much like a stage play. I think the advantages are huge amounts of CG and flight and stuff, which of course that makes sense. But as far as editing or lighting, like the language of film, I don't think that added anything that couldn't be done in a stage production. In fact, watching this is like, I bet this is a real cool musical to watch.
I think that the addition of the different sets were what changed it from the musical.
True, yeah.
Because obviously you can't have more than like 2 sets for a musical generally. And this is a huge musical that uses like the entirety of the stage. There's upper parts, there's lower parts, there's like...
And that sounds very
flying, there's the bubble. Like you get what you get on stage and that's kind of it. And then this was really cool because we got to see what the Emerald City actually looked like, and we got to see what the village in the beginning in No One Mourns the Wicked. You get to see the shiz like set, which is kind of neat because you don't really know. You get to see the Ozdas Ballroom, which is all done with like lighting changes and like small set changes in the musical, whereas in this you get to see the whole piece of it.
I feel like I'd prefer the play because I think the addition of all of these things, yeah, of course, it's going to be better to say like, oh, here is a ballroom and not just here's a differently lit version of that same, I assume that front courtyard that they spend about an hour in anyway, even though we can switch.
Yeah.
I assume it's placed there. And I think I would be forgiving then of, hey, why are we here for an hour? Because it's a stage production. That makes sense. And here it's just... yeah, we're just here because the play did it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the answers to my questions of why would they do such and such, the answer is like, well, that's how it was in the play. And then I always just want to say, yeah, but where this isn't a play. And I get you want to be true to that, but maybe the true to that should be within the characters and not in sets, because that's why you would want to make a movie.
Right.
Is that you wouldn't be beholden to doing those things, but they still kind of are.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm just thinking of that giant chorus that follows everyone around.
They're in the musical too.
Well, yeah, but that is
a musical
stage language. That goes back to ancient Greece, right? But
yeah, of course.
I don't watch a lot of movies that have a 60
Broadway
people
musical.
who are behind you
Yeah.
reacting to everything you do, because we can see reactions of characters in a movie. We can't always see facial reactions in a play, so you have this giant chorus that does the reaction that's over the top for you. That's the language of the theater, and why it's needed here, and why you need to then take what language you are using of film and cutting away to show a group of people having the reaction that just mirrors the reaction of one person when you could just show that first person.
Right.
That seems like an odd choice to me.
Okay. You said tons of CG. What did you notice for CG that you didn't like?
I don't think any CG was poorly done.
Okay.
I assume it's just in those very big wide shots. We have these big sweeping vistas. And of course, they're not going to go build a city. That's fair. I don't have criticism that they used it. I think that if you're going to add things into it, I was saying that that's one of the things that, like, yeah, I get why you would add that in going into a movie, because you can't build a 100-story tower in a stage.
Right, yeah.
You're going to CG in that. Yeah. You're going to make these monkeys CG instead of a guy in a
monkey suit. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of practical stuff, actually.
There was. So, like, all the tulips in the beginning are real.
Why?
Because he could. I don't know.
That seems like the biggest way.
They planted millions of tulips.
I understand that I'm being contradictory right now. I want things to be real, but if you're going to say, oh yeah, we went and we planted 6 million tulips, that's one time when I'm going to say, use CG.
Yeah.
6 million tulips for what? That one shot?
Yeah.
That seems unnecessary.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I guess that seems just incredibly wasteful to me, but okay.
They built that Munchkinland set from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Munchkinland is
The
real.
set seemed, I think,
Yeah.
all
Shiz,
pretty much
totally
real.
real.
Yeah.
The field outside Shiz, totally real.
Well, Shiz must have been real because they used that set all they could.
So like there was a lot of stuff that was real.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
It seemed like it.
I don't know that we needed to plant 24 million tulips.
24 million? Is
I
that
think
what
it was something like
That's
that.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but I can't find the exact number. And it, yeah, I don't know. Like, lots of this was very real built, and I do agree that some of it probably could have been CG'd.
My criticism isn't that there is poorly done CG or too much of it. My criticism is there's too much of everything constantly. Mm-hmm. So much so that I can't see any one thing well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. I get what you're saying.
And at times, it would allow for it at first. When they first get to Oz, and there's a big musical number before the play within a play thing. Mm-hmm. At first, I was like, oh, here, this is what I've been wanting. Mm-hmm. It's tracking through, showing me different parts of Oz, actually using the language of film of having a camera move through it, which is something we don't get. It's usually quite static in a wide, like a play. Mm-hmm. And we get to see these dancers doing their things. We're going from one dancer to the next. And I thought, this is what I've been waiting for. And about 10 seconds later, another 100 dancers come in. We zoom out, and I was like, I can't even see what's happening anymore.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of that One Short Day scene in Oz when we're getting like makeovers and stuff, like it was like homage to the Wizard of Oz when they go through and they get their makeovers.
Oh, yes.
When they get to the Emerald City. So a lot of that is like very throwbacky. Mm-hmm. And
I like that sequence.
I really enjoy One Short Day, and I really liked the show Was a Mania. I think that was like very cool, and I think I already talked about this, but like there were quite a few cameos in there of people from different Broadway productions of this show, or like different productions of this show, who played different characters within Was a Mania. And you get like if you don't know, like it just kind of passes you by, and that's fine. Like they're
Chenoweth and Miss Frozen Menzel.
Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel.
Yeah.
And you get like past Fieros and Elphabas and Glindas from various productions. You get Winnie Holtzman, who is the book writer and the screenwriter for both the movie and the musical, who says he can read it, the Grimmery, he must be a wizard. You get Stephen Schwartz, who says the wizard will see you now.
Oh, that was the time when I said, this guy must be someone because he's being shot very differently than everyone else.
He wrote the music for Wicked.
That's why.
And then you get Glinda's mom is a West End Elphaba.
You're a West End Elphaba. That sounds like an insult.
It does.
Well, it is West End Elphaba over here.
It does. And then there's just like too many to like mention here, but like there's so many people in that scene of like who are coming back to Oz basically, which is kind of fun. I think it's really well done. I think that the grand scale of it kind of matches what the Wizard of Oz is all about, with the giant head and like the scary fire and like everything. I think the spectacle of the story of him should be like a huge, big, fantastic production.
Yeah, this part I thought was some of the best, and I
Is this where it started to turn?
Well, I said every half hour is kind of better than the previous one,
right?
Although maybe the very first 10 minutes is better than the next half hour, but
right.
Outside of that, it gets progressively better. And when they arrive in Oz, I liked all of that. And then meeting the wizard, I think, was all very good. So it gets better. So it leaves me feeling like, oh, that was a pretty good movie. But now when we're sitting here going through it, I'm like, oh my God, I hated that first hour.
Oh my God.
That first hour was... My first note is the first hour is 3 hours, but the last hour is just 20 minutes. Because the last hour flies right by.
It really does.
The first hour does not.
What did you think of the wizard, Jeff Goldblum?
I liked him.
Yeah.
I am hesitant to talk about how much I liked him because it seems like I have a very man in his 40s reading of this movie. And with all of the musicals that I love, I don't want to seem that way. But one of my favorite parts was Goldblum because he gives a very non-stage performance. His performance seems quite different than most people.
Yeah, it is different.
I'd say Michelle Yeoh seems a little more grounded as well because
Love Michelle Yeoh in this.
they're both more film people than the theater people, and maybe because it is a film, I appreciated their performances maybe more than a lot of the other ones. But I liked Goldblum. I thought the entire time, like, oh, we're gonna get there and that's gonna be the dad. I was so sure that he was the dad. And then we watched it again today, and I tried to really look at the face of the salesman, and I was like, oh, it looks like Bad Bunny, so I guess it's not Goldblum, but it really seemed like it was going to be.
Yeah, I like him. I think I don't know. I really like Jeff Goldblum as the wizard. Like, I loved his acting. I feel like they should have picked someone who could sing a little better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, he's not as good of a singer, that's for sure.
And like you heard like a little bit of the Broadway, everyone is singing, whereas I feel like Goldblum was just like talk.
Does he sing much in this?
It is a little bit. It's generally more sung than he does it in the movie. So it felt a little weak in that perspective to me, just because generally the wizard is actually singing. That being said, I thought he did a great job acting like the wizard. He's a whimsical man. He's like
he's just playing Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
But I think Jeff Goldblum is a perfect Wizard of Oz. So.
And I think that the wizard can just be a guy because he is just a guy.
Yeah.
And
then that's why
flown in by balloon.
It wouldn't make sense if he was the dad, like I thought. It seemed like it was leaning that way. But then he's just a guy, so he's a guy from Omaha, I assume.
Yeah.
So him having a magic child wouldn't make sense. So do we get it? You said we do get a reveal of who it is.
Yes, we do find out who Elphaba's dad is in the end.
All right.
Part 2 coming soon.
Right.
Yes. So I really liked that he was just Jeff Goldbluming it up because he is just a guy. The wizard is just a guy from Omaha who happened into this like figurehead position because he's so unlike anyone else in Oz, and he has good PR basically.
Yes. Yeah.
He's really spun a tale and they've really bought it, so that's fun. What did you think of Michelle Yeoh? I know you're a big Michelle Yeoh fan.
I liked her fine.
Okay.
I am a big fan. I often don't like her in English as much, but I liked her fine. Is her name Morrible because it turns out she's horrible?
Yes.
Is that okay.
Yeah, it's it's a play on words. So Michelle Yeoh got the part. Jon M was like, "Congrats, you are Miss Morrible." So about your song, and she was like, "What now?"
She doesn't sing in this.
She does. She has her like, "I will write it once to the wizard," like the beginning of The Wizard and I. That's her song.
I don't even remember her singing.
It's more sing talking.
Okay.
Which is like a little bit disappointing. But yes, she took this job not knowing that she would have to have like musical parts. And I think she did a good job for someone who's never sung before. And I really enjoyed all of her outfits. Those dresses that they put her in were just fantastic. In the musical, she is purple.
Skin-wise.
She's got like a purple tinge to her. Oh. She's not actually like
Elphaba is green?
Yeah, not like green like Elphaba. She is just got a purple tinge to her. I follow an actress who's the Madame Morrible standby on TikTok, and I get to see her getting into makeup and stuff. And she's a little bit more cartoony in the musical, which I kind of like because everyone is very human in the movie.
Yes, and they are not in the...
They're a little bit more magical world people.
Okay, that's interesting.
In the musical.
Because that's why, like I like you said, I'm a big fan of Michelle Yeoh, but she felt the most out of place because she felt of my world.
Yes. And so that's, yeah. So in the musical, she is slightly purple. And I don't know if that's like I'm from Oz and like we're all a little wackier and maybe I use like crazy makeup, or if
then that's weird if she's purple because it's having a different skin color is such a big plot point of this movie.
She's got a purple tinge, and I don't know if that's supposed to be makeup from like being in Oz or if that's a like character.
Maybe that's why they got rid of it, because they're like, this.
We've got to really drive home that everyone is not green and she is green.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, I don't know. I just feel like the Munchkins could have been a little bit more Munchkin-y.
Yeah, they didn't go with
they all
people.
Seemed like villagers. And I think also with the computer generated stuff that we have now, you could just make them look a little shorter.
Oh, yeah.
Or smaller or whatever.
They did with all those hobbits.
Yeah. So like, I feel like my big criticism is that everyone looked too human.
That must be hard for little people actors these days, because you're like, it's nice that we're not just playing like silly little munchkins all the time, but then also now we have no roles.
Yeah, now I
want
to.
It's a pretty double-edged sword.
I feel like I could have been a silly little munchkin because.
Yeah.
That's who the character is based on.
That works better than no work. And it would be different. I thought then maybe since they're making the munchkins not all small, that there would be more small people throughout. And then we could just see like, oh, they're just small people of all sizes in Oz. But I don't think there were.
Like,
were there?
Bach is supposed to be Munchkin.
Yeah.
He's just a shorter guy.
He's not short, is he?
He's much shorter than Fiyero.
Oh, I never caught that.
And he's shorter than Glinda. Or like, he's in a similar size of Glinda. So I don't know how they shot this.
Okay.
Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are like 5 feet tall. They are tiny humans. And they look similar height to everyone, which I think is really interesting because they are very, very small. I don't know actually how tall Ethan Slater is, but he is like a shorter guy. And then they have Jonathan Bailey, who plays Fiyero, who is like a tall dude. And I feel like they shot it in a way that like really evened out everyone's heights.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense when you're thinking like this school is like servicing all of Oz. So you're getting people from Munchkinland, you're getting people from Winky Country, you're getting people from...
Winky Country? I've never heard of that before.
The Winkies, Jonathan Bailey Fiyero is the Prince of the Winkies.
The Prince of the Winkies?
Yeah. He's from Winky Country.
You're the Prince of the Winkies.
You're the Prince of the Winkies. And you get Galinda from the Uplands. You get Elphaba. I can't remember where she's from, but is she from
Greenland?
Munchkinland too? Because her father is the governor of Munchkinland, so she must be from Munchkinland. But yeah, so I just feel like a little differentiation between the different types of people would be good.
Yeah, more racial segregation.
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean like, this is a magical world. Make it look like we have some magical things happening, not just like this is a university full of people.
Yeah, it's just a university with wacky architecture.
Yeah, and fun words.
Right. It's exactly like English, but every now and then there's an extra syllable. That means
congratulations.
That, although I both liked it, it was also so dumb. It's like
dumb.
When you are like 6 years old and you're like, oh, well, we invented our own language, me and my friend. And all it is you switch your E's and A's.
Yeah.
Look at the different language.
Yeah. Congratulations is one of my favorites. So I feel like we talked about Elphaba and Glinda.
What do you think of those two performances? You love them both so much?
I think they did a really good job of taking a really specific piece of IP and making it like their own still a little bit. I have seen clips of many, many Elphabas and Glindas, and to a certain extent, each one has made it a little bit their own, whether it's different riffs in the songs that everyone knows, or whether it's different acting choices, different like not pronunciations, but like different emphasis on lines and stuff. And then like the physical acting of like the toss and like Glinda's the way she kind of walks around and goes, woo.
And arching her back.
Yes. So
she leans back.
She really
For more
does.
than half of the movie, she's leaning very far back.
I don't love that part, but I think that these two did a really good job of embracing something that people know so well that I feel like in some instances it can go wrong really fast because people are like, no, I want to see Elphaba and Glinda, and this was something else. So I feel like
you felt like this is a bit of a departure from what you're used to.
A little bit.
Okay.
But enough of a departure that it was like interesting and fun to watch as someone who knows this show really well, but enough there's a little of a departure so that it is still the show you know and love.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like I feel like they towed
a
that
tough
line really
balance,
well. Yeah. And I was worried about that seeing it because sometimes you get someone who's like, oh, I'm going to like do Oz my way.
Yeah.
Which is when you get like The Wiz and like different like dark interpretations.
Well, you the way you said The Wiz sounded very pejorative. I'm gonna say it now. Like I prefer The Wiz to Wicked.
Okay, that's fine. I wasn't saying it that
And
it's bad.
since you happen to have a perhaps unintentional habit of saying that the black people are bad, the way you said The Wiz, I wanted to give you the chance to say The
No,
Wiz is
that's
not
not what I
thing.
meant. I was
Gotcha.
just trying to name something, and I haven't seen The Wiz, so I don't know.
We should watch The Wiz. You know what? That would be real fun to watch.
I don't know anything about The Wiz. I just know that it's like an alternate retelling of the Wizard of Oz story, which
Gotta
is
ease on down the road, you know.
what Wicked is, which is like they've done darker versions, they've done like kids versions. So I feel like this was a really good way to do it without losing the source material.
I liked Elphaba. I think there's nothing I could say that I think she should do differently because I think she has I don't know if it makes it a harder role or an easier role, but I don't think there's much different you can do with this role. I think her role has to ground this fantasy world, and I think that's maybe an interesting choice in how the character is written overall, and I guess that's the point of this whole movie. But that she is the most fantastic looking character, but to us she is the one most grounded in reality in her reactions to everything. Her reactions are the most similar to my reactions and probably most other people.
Yeah.
And her solid sense of self, despite this bombardment and questioning of her identity, I think is quite strong. So I don't think there's anything to do differently, in my opinion. I think Ariana Grande's performance is universally loved.
Yes.
I didn't love it. And it's not that it was bad. I don't think it was bad at all. Sometimes when I watch a movie, I'm a bad actor. I've been in like some small little movies and some small little stage plays. I enjoy it. And some movies, I think how I would deliver that line.
Right.
And this character has some fantastic written humor that I don't think always came through in her performance. She has this haughty yet somewhat awkward presence, which I think is a good thing. I'm not saying bad. I think that's what she is, right? She feels she is better than everyone, but she is not intrinsically completely self-confident, right?
No.
She's trying to build that self-confidence, and she is performing confident. And playing someone playing something is tricky, and I think she does that well.
Yeah.
When we have a somewhat similar role in Barbie from a couple years ago,
Right.
with Margot Robbie having this character who is both fantastic and then reacting to how over the top her own character and world are. She has this little bit of kind of self-awareness derived from our world that she's reacting to herself and her world.
Right.
And I thought that was very good. I would have loved if Glinda had some of that. And I know that is a very specific thing I'm not necessarily critical. It's just, I want to read some of her lines.
Yeah.
I think there's so many funny lines that I laughed at because of the line itself and not always because of the delivery.
So and this gets back to what I was saying about how many actresses have played these two characters like so differently throughout the years. And I think that Glinda's lines are written in a way that you can play them multiple ways. And it gives the actresses an opportunity to kind of like make it their own, which I think is great. So one person saying it one way is different from another person saying it another way, and people laugh at a different part of the line just because of the way you deliver it. And that's a choice, and that's approved by production and like that kind of thing. So I think that this was her making it her own.
Yeah.
I do think that I've heard better delivery on some of these lines.
It just strikes me that when we have so many shots of people in the background with giant reactions, that her kind of wooden makes it sound bad, but a more stoic reaction. I would have gone bigger with this one character. This is where you can go bigger.
Right.
She's a huge character. She comes in a pink bubble. Go big, right?
Yeah.
So,
and on a boat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think that something that isn't driven home as hard in the beginning, which I'm a little sad about, is that when her parents are dropping her off at school, this is the first time she's been without her family. And like in the book, she has a nanny who's dropping her off at school and who's supposed to be living with them. So it's like she's never been in the real world. She knows, she's seen what it looks like to be popular, and she's seen, because her parents like are like affluent people who I'm sure move in society and whatever happens in the uplands. And then you get a girl who is experiencing a large peer group for the first time and is trying to like fight her way to the top. And I think that is the basis behind your character, and I don't know that was like fully fleshed out in the beginning.
But she doesn't have to fight her way to the top.
No.
She walks in and is instantly regarded as better than everyone, as all beautiful people in this world are.
Yeah. So I don't know, I just felt like the introduction of the parents could have been just like a little bit more fleshed out in this, since we're taking 3 hours to do this movie.
Speaking of things to cut, why does Elphaba's sister exist?
She's important in the second act.
Okay. Then why does she get so much time in this? If you cut out that character altogether, I feel like this wouldn't be a different movie.
Yeah.
It would just be 15, 20 minutes shorter.
So Nessa is like a huge part of the second act.
Okay. I was waiting for it because I was like, we're setting up something here. Nope.
Fun fact, because I have all the fun facts. The actress who played Nessa Rose, Marissa Bode, is the first wheelchair-using actor in the musical's history to play Nessa Rose.
Oh.
Yeah. They now have a like semi-ambulatory wheelchair user on Broadway, which is pretty cool. But yeah, she was the first to play this role at all, who actually needs a wheelchair. Yeah.
I was going to say good for her, but also like kind of shitty for everyone else.
Kind of shitty for Wicked. I know that's not like a great.
But it's not like Wicked is alone in this.
No. And I think that like it is a difficult role because you do have to be able to walk in the second part.
Oh.
Like you have to be able to get up and do stuff. So you have to be ambulatory enough to be able to like be out of your chair a little bit. So
ambulatory is fun to say.
Ambulatory is a good word.
And the relationship between her and Bach, it came out of nowhere for me. You said there was a shot where she looked at him earlier, but he's into her because someone pretty told him to be.
So
Bach, and then when he watches her and it's like, oh yeah, actually I'm into, she's kissing someone else. Yeah, I love you. You're beautiful. And it is played as that of like, I would rather be with someone better looking
so
than you.
Bach and Nessa Rose have a moment in the courtyard scene where they're like, I can't see. And the joke is that she's in a wheelchair and he's short because Munchkin. But
in this world, Munchkins are like 6 feet tall.
Yeah. So their like little moment there is like the cornerstone. Like, I don't think there's enough there, but I do agree that it's like it's not the best love story that we could have built there.
Right to the moment, he is very clearly, and the movie is also saying like he doesn't like her. And then when Glinda's no longer available, he goes, all right, I'll give you a shot.
Yeah.
So what is added in? Is it all of their childhood stuff?
The childhood
but that's like
stuff?
that can't be 2 hours worth.
No. So the childhood stuff, the extension of the courtyard scene at Shiz, that is much longer.
Oh, yeah.
The Ozfest ballroom scene, Wizamania isn't as long. They added like another half a song into that because the Magical Wise Ones aren't in the stage musical. You get a little bit more of the wizard with like the tiny town and everything, or the tiny Oz or Emerald City. And then the Defying Gravity scene is a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah, because that is a song that I'd actually heard. Mm-hmm. And my problem, with a lot of musicals is the songs that don't sound like songs. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Like your talking songs.
Well, it's not even that. It's not the Goldblum, Rex Harrison style sing-talking. It's the ones where it's just words, it's dialogue, mm-hmm. but they elongate everything and sing them, but there's no rhythm or rhyme. Mm-hmm. Like that, The Wizard and I, which seems like it's 3 songs put together and it changes every 15 seconds or so.
Right.
But then there's parts where she just stops and sings words. Mm-hmm. When there's no rhythm, those ones are kind of hard for me. Like you wouldn't hear that as a song anywhere outside of this type of medium.
Right.
Those ones I don't love. And I forget what you said and where I was going. But when it's songs like Dancing Through Life. Oh, no, we were talking about the end one.
Yeah, Defying Gravity.
Which is a song.
Yeah.
It's the Let It Go of Wicked,
yes,
right?
Yes, like it's the big moment of like, if this is who I am, fine.
And I was like, all right, I'm ready. Yeah. And I was into the movie at this point too. And I'm so much on Elphaba's side mm-hmm. that I was like, yeah, fuck these guys. I want her to go for it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And they really take the wind out of her cloak. I was going to say one out of her sails, but she
cloak, yeah.
Because they're like, oh, here it is. No, just kidding. We're going to have a bit more dialogue. Oh, here's the song. No, just kidding. We're going to do a little bit of this stuff now.
Yeah.
And here's the big final grand shot. And she sings the note. Yay. Oh, no, there's a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Now this is the big grand shot. No, just kidding. They did it several times over.
They really extended it in a way that like didn't need to be done because it's already a huge song. And I don't think that the falling part was necessary.
Even
when
if
she's
it
falling
is,
down
have her come back up, sing the note, and that's the end. Cool.
Yeah.
But you used that, I'm rising above, here is my big final, this is the climax of the movie. They used it at least 3 times. You can't have a big final note 3 times.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they extended it just like a little bit too much. I understand that it is like, we have all of this film ability because we're not on a stage, and that we can do more than just send her up in the cherry picker and like have her be all capey and like with her broom in the spotlight.
But did they do more? They just did it 3 times.
Just that they could actually make her fly.
Yeah.
Is like what they were doing, and I think that we could have cut that down by like 40%.
Yeah, agreed.
It is a long song. Like it's a 6-minute song. I don't think it needed to be as long as it was in the movie.
It can be long, but when you are stopping the song multiple times within it, it takes away any momentum you have. Mm-hmm. And I was, for someone who was struggling through lots of the movie, when I'm actually excited and there's flow to things for the first time was really kind of getting towards the end when things were really moving plot-wise mm-hmm. and I thought character-wise. To make it stop and start so often is counterproductive.
Mm-hmm. Fair. Good point.
And I know going into this, I was already not the best audience because I think like, hey, you like Little Red Riding Hood? Here's a dark version of it. I was like, well, it's already dark, first of all, and I don't need another version. So I already didn't love that. But I liked where this one was going as far mm-hmm. as that goes. I think there is some actual weight to the like dark underbelly of this story. Mm-hmm. But then the movie seems to love the glossy veneer more than that underlying message. Mm-hmm. Having the wizard as this secret fascist dictator that's going to put spies in the sky. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I like that. You get about 15, 20 seconds where they talk about that. This world where there were these magical animals and now they are being used as the literal scapegoats. And I don't know if that's intentional.
No,
I get it. He's a goat. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. The movie doesn't seem to care about it that much. It seems to spend way more time on, look at those two beautiful people. We all love them because they're beautiful. And what the actual message of the filmmakers or writer or whoever you want to go back to is, seems very muddled as much as the stagecraft is. These costumes, these sets are beautiful. Can I see any of them really? It's hard because there's so much going on. This story of the animals as scapegoats and people turning on them, and this omnipresent yet invisible dictator that's pulling the strings. Very interesting. The movie doesn't seem to care about it that much. We only get little bits of it. And I'm sure it's going to be like, well, in the second movie, it's like, yeah, but I'm here. I'm here in this movie. And it's not enough in this movie. The movie itself seems to be confused of what it wants. It is a 3-hour setup for, I assume, something interesting. But you know what doesn't need a huge 3-hour setup? A movie where we already know all of these characters before we even saw it.
Yeah.
Most of the people know the musical. So they already know it. Do you need this much time telling you about these characters? If you don't know the musical, you've probably know of The Wizard of Oz. Do you need this much time in saying like, oh, people think she's bad, but she's actually not? No, we already know she's bad. You do the one thing of, hey, we hate you because of the color of your skin. Get it? It's a metaphor for hating people because of the color of their skin. And I'll say like, well, it's not a metaphor. That's the same thing, but that's besides the point. We get it. And it just seems like they're spending less time on what the story is trying to say and more time on, hey, you liked Wicked, right? It's less about undercutting The Wizard of Oz, as I assume the musical in the book does, and kind of like that whole role reversal of the good is the evil and whatever. It seems less about that and more like, you liked Wicked? Here's lots and lots of Wicked. And I guess that is the message of Wicked the movie, is Wicked the musical's great. And that can't be your like lead. No,
you're right.
You're getting into a lot of those superhero movies where like, oh, Captain America is about this and this and this, and like now the movie's about hey, remember Captain America? Here he is.
Yeah.
A lot of this seems to be like, hey, you like Wicked? Here's lots of Wicked.
Yeah.
But like Wicked, I assume, has the point that I can see in this one about that role reversal, about the animals and about Oz. But this doesn't seem as interested as it is about remember Wicked? It was a lot of fun. Here's some more of it. So that's my big criticism, is maybe it's undercutting the message of Wicked the play because it's more focused on being self-important than on the messages of the play.
Right. It's a good takeaway.
Is it?
Yeah.
And it gets to through much of this, I wasn't waiting for a revelation or a surprise. I was waiting for, oh yeah, tell me those things I already know. And that can't be as fulfilling. Or maybe that is. Maybe that's the difference in how I like to be surprised by things, and a lot of people like to watch things that will tell them what they already know.
I think that's where Wicked is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It answers all the questions I don't have. Like, hey, where did Elphaba get her pointy hat? Here's like half hour on it. I didn't need to know that. Why did Galinda become Glinda? I don't know. That was never a question of mine. Why is the yellow brick road yellow? I don't know. I didn't need to know that. But like things that I want to know, like who's her father? I don't know. Why does water kill her? And even though she gets rained on a little bit, they mention it a bit. Is that a thing? Is that going to come up?
It comes
I
up.
don't know. Who are the magical wise ones? I don't know.
They're new. We don't really know.
So all of the things I have questions about, they provide no answers. And I get that a bunch of this is probably just so you can say, like, yeah, we'll go watch a second movie, give us more money. But like, give me some answers of things I'm curious about, and not just, hey, here's where the hat comes from, here's where the broom comes from, here's where the cloak comes from. And like the answer is, oh, someone gave it to her. Oh, someone found it on this rack and gave it to her. It's not like a backstory. The one thing that I think is different than that are the flying monkeys.
Yeah.
Because that had consequence and weight to the
Yes.
story and to the character, because it was a really good example of her power being turned, right? She didn't have any bad intentions for
And
this.
she didn't know that you can't reverse something
Exactly.
or that it was going to hurt them.
So
or...
then it kind of gets into like maybe her only real, the detrimental thing she does is through hubris. She just doesn't think about her actions, but she's being guided by these people who are misguiding her. And that act of those monkeys being turned into like these monsters tells us a lot about her character, that it was unintentional, but then she's also taking responsibility for it, but also it's giving her that evil bent and sending her on that journey. That was one case where it's like, that makes sense and that's relevant, and not like, hey, where's that cloak from? Right there on that rack. I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I do think that this is a little more confusing if you don't know the musical, just because part 2 was a year away when we first saw this, or when I first saw this. So because I knew all about Wicked and all the music and like the themes and the story and everything, I think I watched it a different way than you did, just because I'm seeing it and I'm excited to see this story that I know so well done in a new way, done in a way that it's never been done before. And I think that the flaws are just because they wanted to be as maximalist as possible, maybe because they had the budget and they knew it was going to make money, whatever. And I think that it does stick a little too close to the stage production's kind of cues and movements, but I still think it's fantastic. I think that there are flaws, as with anything. Nothing's perfect.
We watched In the Mood for Love a while ago.
Nothing's perfect. Michelle Yeoh wasn't in that. I think that this is fan service through and through. I didn't realize how much gets lost when you don't know, because I will never see Wicked for the first time again. And I will never live in a world where I don't know the story of Wicked and I don't know what happens in Act 2. I saw it with friend of the show Kim, who had never seen Wizard of Oz,
That's wild.
which was a major fault on my part, because I feel like there was so much of it that she was so confused about, because unless you know the characters going in, you're very confused. So sorry about that, Kim. I think that there are always places where you could do a little bit better. I'm really excited about the second part because we already did all the world building. So now we just have story, hopefully.
But they managed to put in a lot of standing in crowds in this one. Just groups of idiots clapping for
like 15
hours.
minutes.
And again, that's intentional. I think they're supposed to be complete idiots because they are being manipulated by people and are showing how
this whole world is manipulation. But yes, so hopefully my hopes for part 2, which I worked really hard to not spoil stuff, but I really hope that we spend a lot less time world building, because we know about Oz, we know about the characters, we know their backstories now, and we can just go forward from here. Act 2 has some of my favorite songs in it, and you also get a fun twist. That's all I'll say.
All right. I love a fun twist.
Dramatic twist, I guess.
That too.
But and you get to know some of these characters better, and they make a lot more sense in the second act. So yeah. Any last thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like I gave it in that last little bit I got a little carried away with, which sounded like I hate the movie. And overall, I give it a positive. If we're just doing thumbs up or thumbs down, it gets a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, okay.
It's not an enthusiastic thumbs up, but I think where you leave off in the movie, you'll probably be happy and want to see the next one. But I think its greatest feat is making you want to watch something else, which can't be, that's not a success, right? I want to see the next movie, because I don't want to feel like I just wasted 3 hours of my life. And I feel like that says more about the state of filmmaking than anything. That's what makes a lot of money. Not one movie, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. That's what makes money. It reminds me so much of how I read a lot of YA fiction for work, and most of the books I read are 300 pages of setup, and then you get excited, and then they're like, oh yeah, continue to the next book. And then you have to read 6 more books.
Right.
And I bow out a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't with you, I would bow out of this one.
Right.
I wouldn't watch the next one.
Part 2. Yeah.
But we will.
We will.
Because you'll go see it in the theaters, and I'll see it when it's later.
When it's podcast time.
Yeah. When it's free, I'll watch it as well.
Yes.
But yeah, that doesn't make me feel good about it. I feel more that I was manipulated into watching a second movie because this one didn't give me anything. This was popcorn before a meal. Like, it makes me want something else.
Right.
Which is not a success to me.
Yeah, I get that.
There's a lot of good stuff. I think the satirical or elements that are critical of our society are blunt and general enough that you can apply it to anything. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing of like,
No.
It's so generic. It's like, no, sometimes that's good that you can see these elements in our world in so many different places.
It's more relatable for the common crowd, right? Like,
sure, yeah.
Because everyone can find something in it.
Yes. I think that stuff was interesting, although not really explored. Then I want to see the next one. Maybe they'll do better. And I can see it then. But when so much of it consists of speeches and tours and gasping and just high school level background acting, that got to me so much. It really bothered me. But then you get these main characters who you can see some of that nuance and character growth. And then you think, okay, there's something here too. And it just makes you want more. So I guess if I'm going to grade this movie, it's an incomplete is what it gets from me. It's not an A or an F, it's an incomplete.
Yeah.
It didn't do the job of a movie.
Fair.
It did the job of making me want to see another movie.
Yeah.
It's now my 4th favorite musical about Nazis.
Wow.
Yeah. It goes Cabaret, Sound of Music, The Producers, Wicked.
Okay. Well,
I guess there's no like literal actual Nazis in this
no,
one like
but
there
like
are
there's
in
a
the other
fascist
ones.
dictator.
But it's like,
we got it. We're getting there. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much that they're doing it in 2 because I feel like everything is 2 now. And if it bothered me, I would just live my life agitated, and I can't do that.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I can't do that to myself, so I just don't think about it. Okay. So.
But then I also like don't want to be complacent. I appreciate film as art. I have a whole podcast about it. I can't just
have
be
a
like,
whole degree about it.
This is how movies are now. I guess we're fine. Like,
Yeah.
no, I have to complain when I see like this is a bad thing that we are doing now in movies.
Yeah. But that being said, I will be seeing it in a couple days, I guess, when this comes out. I am really looking forward to it. And I am also terrified about what you're going to think of part 2 because...
Well, I imagine I'm going to like it more because my big problem with this is like, show me the stuff.
Keep going.
And now we're going to see the stuff.
We're going to see the stuff.
Again,
there's lots of stuff to see,
this movie. Gets a thumbs up. I'm just saying, didn't need to be 2 movies from what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, fair. Okay, well, we will see you next week. Are we doing a...
Oh, next week is it Christmas time?
It's Christmas.
Yeah, next week we're, crazily enough, starting kind of Christmas stuff.
Ho, ho, ho.
No, you can't say it yet. It'll be less Christmassy, but we will do some Christmas things of the week. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe we'll do songs. Maybe we'll do other stuff.
I feel like we're running out of songs.
Oh, you can't. No, we're not. There's so many Christmas songs. Are you kidding me?
You know what? Deep dive. Let's go.
And I will preview what our first Christmas watch is going to be. And for the first one, it's not going to be full crazy Christmas.
A light Christmas.
Light Christmas.
Christmas light.
Christmas
okay.
adjacent movie.
Okay.
Will be.
Sounds good. Is it just like a movie that's set at Christmas?
I guess. I don't like the argument of what is or is not a Christmas movie.
Fair.
So I'll just say it's a movie that is fantastic, that I love, and you tell me if it's a Christmas movie.
Great.
And see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.